So, you've seen the news. Liberty Media, the owners of Formula One, are reportedly in exclusive talks to buy Dorna, the MotoGP rights holder, for more than €4 billion. This report was in the Financial Times and it said that the deal is close, which would unite the world's top car and motorcycle racing series under the same banner. And even in the report it said that the announcement could come as early as next week. Now it's said to believe that Liberty Media had beaten a rival bid from TKO, the company that owns UFC and WWE. Qatar Sports Investments, the company who own PSG, also held talks with Bridgepoint, the private equity firm involved in MotoGP. But a deal between Liberty Media and Dorna would likely face regulatory scrutiny because of EU law. F1 and MotoGP were both owned by the private equity firm CVC Capital Partners. But CVC were forced to sell MotoGP when they bought F1 due to EU regulations. It was said in the article by a competition lawyer at White and Case that the Financial Times were told that a deal between Liberty and Dorna is quite likely. We do have regulatory rules that have to be abided by, and when EU law comes into it, an investigation won't be quick. It could take up to 2 months. So this thing, while it might be agreed in principle, it has to go through standards and checks to be approved. The shareholders of Dorna who own the MotoGP rights are Bridgepoint, the Canadian Pension Plan Investment Board, and Carmelo Espeleta, who works as Dorna CEO. When you look at how Liberty Media have transformed F1 in the modern day in terms of social media, they took over the sport in 2017, really started to implement things in 2018, and of course the Netflix series Drive Survive has enabled them to grow a fan base all around the world, while F1 has also grew massively on social media. But this asks a lot of questions for MotoGP fans. The F1 calendar has grown a lot under Liberty Media's leadership and now includes races in Las Vegas, Miami, Jeddah and Doha. Even just going back to the Financial Times report, F1's operating profit in 2023 was 392 million, a 64% growth from 2022. The revenue grew from 2.5 billion to 3.2 billion. Dorna's revenue was 483 million in 2023 by contrast. So you can see the massive scale that MotoGP and F1 are operating on. F1 have the global reach around the world. The action on track, let's be honest, it is very boring. But they have it down to a T in terms of marketing. And I see a lot of MotoGP fans getting worried about this. Our product, our racing that we have in MotoGP, it isn't perfect. It is 20 times better than F1's product. We actually get multiple race winners. Unlike in F1, apart from the Australian Grand Prix, Vamos Carlos, where it's just Max Verstappen or Red Bull that wins every week. But I wouldn't worry if you're a MotoGP fan. F1's marketing is incredible. Their social media has grew so much. And while Dorna have done a great job with MotoGP, I think it is now time for some fresh eyes to go on MotoGP and come on board to make this sport even better than F1. Because as a fan of MotoGP, it is the sport that gets you hooked on a weekend. The races are exciting, we've got so much great talent in the sport, but no one's really seeing it outside of us. And I think this is why Liberty Media could do a great job at marketing. Who knows, we could probably even see that potential of a Grand Prix between F1 and MotoGP in the same weekend come to fruition if they get their way. That would be something pretty cool. But I see this as a positive thing. Liberty Media aren't going to come in and change the regulations of racing. They aren't going to do that. Of course, we have the FIM and all the other boards that are involved in MotoGP. And getting the people who don't know about MotoGP to watch it. And I think it's a good thing. So let's see if it gets confirmed next week. Nothing is 100% official, but if the Financial Times are reporting it, there's a good chance there's some truth to this. So let's see how it goes. And if there's any announcements, we'll have it covered on social media. We'll have it on our website. Make sure to head to Christ.net for all the latest news. And we will see you next time.